I've made a game. A very simple one. Just so I had something I could play with these cool minis my friends have made. Let's check it out. The game is called Motley Cruise. You play on a regular 8x8 chessboard. I made this fancy grassy one, but the regular chessboard works just as well. Each player has a crew of 5 minis with individual roles and rules inspired by classic fantasy RPGs. Knight, Barbarian, White Mage, Black Mage, and Arbalist. Both players have functionally identical but aesthetically unique crews. I've sculpted official minis, but the whole point is to use whatever minis or figures you like, get them off the shelf and play with them. After taking turns placing figures in their start zones, players can move one figure per turn and do one action, either attack or use a special action, such as a spell or a special attack. It doesn't have to be the same figure that moves and uses an action in a turn, but it must be done in that order: move and action. You can choose to skip doing either if you want to. Each figure has a card indicating how far it can move, how strong its attack is, how far it can reach, and the life value. Figures move and attack horizontally or vertically. The Barbarian has move 3, so it can move to any of these squares. It has reach 1, so it can attack a figure that is standing in any of these squares. The mages have move 2, so can move here, but a bigger reach value, 2, so they can attack here. When a figure is attacked, it loses life equal to the attack value of the attacking figure. We play with the figure's cards on the table next to the board, and use dice to represent a wounded figure. When a figure has 0 life, it dies and is removed from the board. When a figure your opponent controls is killed, you get a point. If it is revived, you lose that point. You win if you have 4 points, or your opponent doesn't control any figures. Some figures have an ability which is permanently active. The Arbalist can move and attack diagonally, and the Barbarian takes extra damage from mages. And that's all there is. The game is pretty fun and easy to learn. I played a few games with my girlfriend, brother and other friends within minutes of introducing them to the rules. Part of what keeps the game simple is that the crews you control are symmetrical. A deck building or list building like function where the players assemble crews of multiples of certain roles with different point values or something would be fun, but would immediately propel the complexity and the risk of just breaking the game outright into the stratosphere. As it is now, I've tried to keep a good balance between the figures. For example, the Barbarian is super strong, but weak to magic, so that with both figures at full health, the fragile Black Mage can sacrifice itself to take out the robust Barbarian. We haven't played the game enough to solve it, finding an optimal strategy, and so far the rules seem to allow for different playstyles and strategies to work together. Of course, some of you guys might be able to disprove that notion. I got inspiration from various places. Mainly I'd say Capsule Monster Chess and the D&D ripoff from the early days of the Yu-Gi-Oh manga. I remember rereading these chapters over and over as a kid. I also remember wanting to make a game like this all the way back then, but I never got further than painting a big piece of MDF board green and cutting a crude figure or two from a piece of wood. But after 20 years I finally have the game I wanted after all. An indirect inspiration is Final Fantasy Tactics. I never played that game, but my brother has, and he told me a lot about it while we were playing my game, and gave me inspiration for new character roles. Since finishing this version of Motley Cruise, I've also played a little Fire Emblem, which has lots of interesting parallels to this type of gameplay. As I said, there are official minis. I finally learned 3D modeling for this purpose. There's a link to my itch page in the description of this video, where you can download the STL files for 3D printing. The game's rules, cards and the Knight figure can be found there for free. The rest of the crew can be bought for $5 for the whole lot. If there's any interest in buying the minis physically instead, let me know and I can make a small batch of resin printed minis. Because I love world building, I'm putting together a short PDF zine with a bit of lore for these characters. This too is of course free to download. I'm also putting links in the description to the minis by my friends that I use for my second crew. The minis that inspired this whole thing. Regarding the future of the game, if we can get the player base of this game to be, well, in the double digits, I'd like to sculpt another set of 5, so there are 2 official crews. I also have a whole bunch of ideas for new character roles that could be interesting to play with, and it would be fun to experiment with different sizes and layouts of the gaming board. I would love a big board with a river in the middle, or a castle board with walls and towers and different levels for the figures to walk on. That'd be so cool. In closing, if you give the game a try, have fun with it. Change the rules and roles to your heart's content. Experiment. And if you should print and paint any of the figures, please send me a picture. It means the world to me to see someone play with the figures I've sculpted. Alright, that's it. Take care, have fun. Oh, by the way, I've modeled a mini for my friend Trent of Miscast fame. It's getting manufactured in metal and is only being sold for as long as Trent can keep up the daily vlogs on his permanent vlog channel. After that, it will be gone forever. I think it's super cool, and I'm honored to be a tiny part of it. Okay, that's it for real. Bye!